Catching up with Sarah and Ginny, fueled by laughter and insights aplenty. Curiosity, connection, and learning that sticks. Real talk, real lives with practical tips. Welcome to Catching Up with Sarah and Ginny. Come on in.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Ginny. Nice to see you.
And we are having a kind of an interesting podcast this evening because neither of us are at home and we are both out and about and we are in hotels across the country. So it's a kind of a Sarah and Ginny travelling podcaster extraordinaire, isn't it, really?
And it's basically try and give a few kind of like tidbits and a bits of advice that we have from travelling on the road and things that it gives us insights into our teaching and learning in the classroom from being out and about, I think, really.
Absolutely. I mean, this topic is quite huge, so I think we need to break it down. So shall we break it down shall we begin with travelling, Sarah? Because you have many stories, and am I right in thinking that your main mode for travelling to events is the train?
You see, the train, and I actually had this discussion today. I was on a train station this morning at 7:05, which is always an interesting time to be on a train station, particularly when it's in Cornwall. I think if you're on a train in London at 7:05, it's very different. When you're in Cornwall, in St Earth, in a very small train station, even the ticket office isn't open, let alone the cafe. So it's very dark. It's not many people, well, no one really. There was one lady. So we struck up a conversation and started discussing the difference between 7:05 in London and 7:05 in Hale. And kind of, some of the things that makes you think. But it is quite interesting when you get the train a lot, because we had a chat about why I get the train and why I don't drive. And today I'm in Peterborough. In a couple of weeks, I'm in Birmingham. I did think after this morning's debacle, I'm going to tell you a very quick, funny story about this morning's debacle, because my partner said to me, because I was leaving so early, I had to get to the train station. I had to leave my house at 6:30, which is quite an early time. Young child, 6:30 in the morning, quite an early time to leave your house. So we didn't feel it was great to get my son up out of his pajamas into the car to drive me to the train station, which is 20 minutes away. So the plan was I drive, I get to the station, I leave my car, he gets a train later, picks the car up. All fine, that's all well and good. As I'm leaving, he just says, "Oh, don't forget about the key." And I don't know whether there's certain things I just don't think about. And I didn't even think about the fact that if I went, he would need a car key. Yeah. So I went, "Oh, yeah, fine. That's fine." And he said, "Yeah, fine. Just leave it under the wheel arch." And I didn't think anything more of it. And I drove off and got to the station that I was at, pitch black. Had to navigate one of those apps as well, where my card details weren't saved in the phone, and nightmare. And then I had a little think, put the key under the wheel arch. And do you know what, Ginny? I've never done that in my life. And it made no sense to me. I had no idea what he was talking about. So I had to Google, what does he mean by putting it under I don't understand what he's talking about. And it made me realize sometimes, there's certain things that you kind of take for granted. And then, of course, all it took me to was little cases, magnetic things you could put under your wheel arch for the key to safely go in. And so then I started to, obviously it was dark. There was only one other person that was around, and I was worried they might see me do it. So then I'm trying to be really discreet at 7:15 in the morning, putting my key under a wheel arch. I don't even know what that means still, really. So then I popped it on top of the tyre. Wasn't sure it'd stay there.
That's it.
Popped it under the tyre.
Because the wheel arch
under the tyre
is above the wheel. The gap, you have the wheel arch and let's call it the wheel underneath. And
Ginny,
you place it there. Yeah.
So think about the language that's been used in that, right? And this is what, again, this is the whole thing's about language and the things we say to kids and what we think they interpret from that. The wheel arch under it would be on top of the tyre.
Yes.
For me, right?
Yes.
Because there's the arch and just
Yes.
underneath it is on top of the tyre.
Yes.
So I'm putting the
I'm with
key on
you.
top of the tyre and thinking this doesn't feel safe or secure or whatever. And then when I Googled it is, you're right. And then I thought, actually, what about putting it inside? I mean, I still don't even know if he's got the car, to be fair, inside the tyre, under the arch. But anyway, it was a very interesting situation because by this point, everyone saw me doing this. And I just thought, gosh, how many times have the children in our classrooms no idea what you've asked them to do? You know, I'm 54, I've got a PhD. I'm sat in a St Earth car park, 6:45, Googling, watching YouTube videos of what does it mean to put a key under a wheel arch. Anyway, there you go. That's my opening
So,
story, Ginny.
right, on that, my thing to do with tyres is the near side and the far side. I mean, why have we got these words? The near side and the far side. To me, it's the wheel near the driver, the wheel near the passenger, the wheel behind the passenger, the wheel behind the driver. Why do we say near side and far side? I mean, I'm presuming the near side, is the near side always the driver? Is the far side the
I've got no
passenger?
idea, don't
I don't,
I?
no, you see, these words, and actually, I'm sure many people listening will be shouting, well, it is so and so or so and so, but maybe we just
Yeah.
overthink it. Maybe we overthink it. The thing going back to the car park, we haven't even got on the train. The thing about the car park is,
That's a whole
the car
nother story.
no, so the car park where I often park, there are different zones in the car park, and they are owned by different app companies. So my biggest
Oh,
fear is I will buy it from
mm,
the wrong app company. Then when I come home, having done training, my
mm,
car will be clamped.
ticket. Mm. I've bought it for the wrong car. So
Oh,
I've got my mum's car on my app. Why I would have my mum's car on my Just Park app. I must have done it once. So I've done it so that I've actually clicked on the wrong car and I've given her a ticket, not me. We've actually had a really lovely, famous thing in when we were here once on our Mother's Day. And Andy, my partner, had got his mum, brought her down. His two sons had come down. So we had 3 cars in the car park. And Andy was like, oh, don't worry, I'll put tickets on them all. And so he put tickets on them all. We went for lunch. We had a lovely lunch. Obviously took longer than he thought it was going to. He only put an hour on all of us. So when we went
oh,
outside, we all had tickets because he'd been gone for 2 hours. So we had 3 car parking tickets for that day.
oh man.
Anyway,
That that that's
yeah.
that reminds me of the time when my husband and I we went to London to look at sofas, and we took our friend, and it was a Sunday, and we went in 2 cars. And we said, don't worry, it's
Mm.
Sunday. You don't need a ticket. 2 car parking tickets later. There's a lot to be learned from this, Sarah, isn't there, really? About reading things, maybe.
Read the small print. Yeah, read the small print. I mean, I've got
Mm.
a massive issue at the moment. Actually, there was a really good thing recently. Uh, Jo Reese, the dyslexic blogger, or she does like a whole social media thing, and she does all of these live reels about her journey as a dyslexic adult. And she was talking about train stations, and she was talking about all the boards with all the information on. And I was stood there today looking at, any literacy difficulties. I mean, gosh, and anything with our processing, executive function, all of that stuff. On a regular basis, stood in King's Cross Station, I was trying to work out where the information was about my train. And in the end, I took a photo of the boards and then I held it down to myself to look at calmly in my space. And actually, I was able to access it. But I just thought, we so take for granted so much of all of this that's just difficult before we even get to the actual journey itself, and
I
let
know,
alone
and
the destination.
like I've been at Marylebone, and then I look up on the big screen, and then it keeps changing to tell me all of the
Yeah.
stations it goes to, and then that's there's a lot happening there, and then I don't know which platform it's going to be, Sarah. So we're all looking, we're waiting for that
Oh,
platform number
then you
to
run.
come up,
Yeah.
and then everyone rushes.
Mm.
But did you know this? I'm sure you do, as a seasoned train traveller, that when the funny little graphics come up of the train and the carriages, it shows you how full each carriage is.
I love that. No, I've only just realised that recently. I've only just realised that it actually tells you which carriage is which and where it is. And actually, I find that really quite helpful. And
Mm.
again, more information, but being told about that's where the information is. I'm like, where do I learn about this? How do I just have to know this? It's by osmosis.
Well, and
That's where the
it's
first
by,
class carriage is. That's where the bikes can go.
and I think it's by having conversations like this. But I need to
Yeah.
talk to you about, is it called frog seat?
Sea frog.
Seat frog. Seat frog. Tell me about seat frog.
Yeah. I mean, sea frog, and I had a very lovely, well-known educator in the field on some training with me a few years ago, and I told him that I got the train. And first of all, he stood there for a little bit, looking at me, like not quite believing, because the training, I think we were in where we're Birmingham, and obviously I live in Cornwall, and he was kind of looking at me like, "You've come on the train from Cornwall to here." And then he was like, "Well, I hope you travel first class." And I said, "Well, not really, because the expenses are paid by the schools or the local authority. And so I try and make it as reasonable as possible." But he said, "But it's your time and you've got to come ready to be able to present or to give them your knowledge." And it was really interesting because some trains are okay, but some trains really aren't. And some trains I have to stand for hours and I have to hold all my bags. And I'm actually still trying to do my preparation and my work whilst holding my bags. So Seatfrog is an app that you can upgrade, and it used to be that you could bid on seats, and sometimes you got an upgrade to first class for £10. Now
Oh.
the minimum's £35, but you still might get your upgrade for 35. And bearing in mind, a seat from Cornwall could be 200 and something, and first class could be 400 and something. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ginny, the other note about that is that one time, that's the other issue with traveling on trains, is that sometimes if you're late at night, it can feel a bit unsafe. And if you're
Yes.
traveling on your own and you've got all your
Yeah.
possessions with you, because usually I carry loads of stuff, that's a bit tricky. And there's not huge amounts of staff on the trains anymore because obviously cutbacks. But one time, one of the ladies on the trolley did say to me that if I ever felt unsafe on a train, which is a good bit of information, she said, "Go up to first class." And you tell the people in first class, you tell the steward, there's always a steward there, that you're feeling unsafe and they will let you be there. I was a bit like, I might do that anyway. But I thought that was a really good thing. I thought it was a good
Do-
thing to know.
And these are things that we do need to know. I was also
Yeah.
told by an educator about traveling on the train that, once again, like you say, our time is precious. And
Yeah.
so to be able to travel on the
Yeah.
train and to use Seat Frog and to be able to have that seat and to be able to do your work and
Mm.
feel very relaxed and just kind of
Yeah.
take in the kind of ambiance as you travel. I mean, I think there should be something whereby if trains are not full, there should be a thing. I'm going to call it a troffice, train in an office, whereby you can get on a train, use it as an office, pay not that much money because you are using the train as an office. You go somewhere and you
Yeah.
come back, literally use it as an office, and then that is still giving them revenue. Um, but it's a
Yeah.
great way to work when it works, Sarah. I mean, I have been that person who is
But
coming
it
back
is a
from
great way.
yeah, and I haven't had a seat and such like. So I do think Seat Frog is great, and I got a Seat Frog first class ticket less than £35. I was going probably
Oh,
not as far as you. I was going York to
recently?
Banbury, so um, July.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Another thing, Sarah, tell me, because you are a knowledge about this. Do you get your tickets a lot cheaper the earlier you book them?
do you know what? I'm having a real issue with this one because I think this is something that I told you, and that now I'm really reaping that it's not actually true. It
Oh,
varies because what you find is if you buy it earlier, sometimes you can get deals. It's about when the deals are on. So
Wow.
I recently traveled and managed to get myself to Nottingham. I think I got a single, buying singles, advanced
Yes.
singles. Sometimes the singles are on sale. So you'll see it often says they're on sale. So you look for the single tickets or you break your journey. And
Yes.
so I've got like a single ticket from Cornwall to Nottingham for 20 quid, whereas
Oh,
the return would have been 400. And
wow.
so it's a bit of a pain, a bit of a faff. So sometimes it's good to do it in advance and that will help, but you might then pay the full thing and then you could have got it cheaper if you'd have waited. It's a very tricky, I thought I had it sussed, but I think whether
Yeah.
GWR thought that Mosey thinks she's got it sussed, I'm going to muck
Yeah.
about with it now. So she hasn't got it sussed because I haven't got it sussed. But I
No.
think it's worth looking. It's also worth if you've got a break in your journey, sometimes I'll break it at one point and look at a popular station, get a ticket to there, then get a ticket another place, and
Mm.
it's cheaper. You might get one for £10 and one for £15. And I've heard the lady today on the train say to two of the people that when she was getting the tickets, she went, "Oh, I see you've both broken your journeys. See, that's the thing to do now. Everyone's doing it." So there's my little
Oh.
tip. My little tip about it. Break your journey. Have a look at a popular station that's in between where you're going to and
Mm.
seeing whether a single to there and the next one is the. But all of this, Ginny, I have to
Mm.
say, has made me reflect on this kind of wow thing about journeys and about
Mm.
actually the importance of being taken out of your kind of regular routine sometimes as well. I think that we forget sometimes we often think about the destination because with
Mm.
our learners, we think we're very fixed on kind of exams or SATs or
Yes.
levels, expected levels at the end of a year, all this kind of stuff. And for many of our young people, their journey isn't like I work with lots who are at that working towards or, not achieving whatever it is, however we determine it. But so the journey is never that they're going to necessarily get somewhere. And I think, first of all, it's really important to have a destination. And we need to look at the destination for each of those young people, but then not get fixated with the destination and actually think about what is the journey they need to get towards that destination and actually where might it take them. So I kind of was thinking around how it's just every journey is so different. And I think sometimes I set out on a journey, this is going to happen. I mean, even today, I'm in Peterborough, and I got on the train from London. It's only an hour and 10 minutes. They're my worst journeys because I completely
Um,
forgot that I was only on a train for an hour and 10 minutes and my train was going to Edinburgh. And it was only something clicked me out of my work phase that I was in that made me go, "Oh, where am I?" I could have stayed on that train to Edinburgh, I think. Luckily, I didn't. I got off at Peterborough, but it made me think as well about sometimes it becomes too comfortable. I had my snacks,
yes.
I had my work, had my seat. I was happy.
Oh,
So
but
there
and
you
I think
go. So that's my
what you
kind of wow
yeah,
about it.
what you're saying about our learners is actually where is their stop off on the way? You're saying about
Yeah.
actually stopping off at a station, but
Mm,
actually, and I've done this, Sarah, with learners. Oh,
mm.
we've done, and it's always rounding up and rounding down. Oh, we've done
Yeah.
rounding up and rounding down to 10 or whatever, and then I haven't stopped. I've pushed that little bit
Yeah.
further, and everyone's
Yeah.
felt deflated because we
Yeah.
haven't
Because they
ended on a
can't do
high.
it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, stop at the railway just stop. Just stop on a
Yeah.
high, because we can end up on that, like Ken Robinson says, that conveyor belt of, "Right, they've got that,
Yeah.
let's move on, let's move on."
Yeah.
No, let's stop and let's just celebrate where they're at
Celebrate.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Mm.
important bit about that, leaving the brain in that positive state.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the brain's left in a positive state so that next time they come back to that learning activity or that learning the concept or whatever it is you're doing, they'll be like, "Oh, I remember this. It was this, and I
Yes.
had this, and it was fun."
Yes.
And
Yes.
actually, rather than, "Oh, is it phonics? Oh, is it
Yeah.
maths?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of our children are left in, that negative state, just
Yeah.
because we push on because we have to. We think, "Oh, if we've done that now, we can do the next bit. Oh, we're in
Yeah.
a really good position. No,
Yeah.
enjoy where we are now, not where
No.
we're going.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my wow is to do with traveling. My wow is me sorting myself out for traveling, Sarah. So
Oh,
I'm
I
going to tell
this.
you about how I
Go on.
pack light when I go on a train. So I mean, I'm doing visuals, but I'll explain. So my jewelry is in a very small little zip pouch. So my jewelry takes up a very small amount of space, very, very small. My vitamins are in a lovely little pill pot that I take with me.
Nice.
Everything is in a see-through bag so that I know what's in there.
Where are they from?
Just probably Primani or somewhere.
Yeah,
The bag is
I
from
think I need to
Primani.
get those. I've got them all joined together, and actually, I think
Uh,
separate.
yeah, so I have a little tub. I think that's for my eye cream. But once again,
Yeah.
just making everything little. What else have I got in here? I've got an amazing folding charger that's got a little rubber thing around it. So if my socket is a long way away from, say, the bed or whatever, I can extend that. And it's also got a USB charger in it. But it's not huge.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So that I really like that. I don't know what else I've got because I brought it all with me.
Do you
A mini
know?
pair of
I think. Do you have a separate charger that you just take away with you?
yes.
So
Yes.
this is something I need to do because I did that, but then it's got all mixed up with all the stuff
Yeah.
in the office and the house now,
Yeah.
and of
No,
course, all
I
of
have it
everywhere
separate.
is
Yeah, I have it
gaming
separate.
and what.
Mini pair of scissors. Charge it charging
Wow,
lead
see, that's always good. Do you have safety
charging
pins?
lead specifically for traveling with a little thing that clips so that my charging lead ends up in a coil, and then I put the little clip round it so that it doesn't taffle up with everything else. Can you
Yeah,
right?
I just think I need to. Ginny, can I just live in your world?
Yeah.
That's
A
just kind
little
of,
a
yeah, I
little
think
pair
that's.
a pair of headphones with a little clip on to keep them from untaffling. Charging block. Love my charging block.
I love my charging block. Is it pink?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice to have
It's
a pink
red and
charging
it's
block.
got
Nice.
integral wires. So that's just if I'm on the train or whatever. So I don't have to find the wire. It's got integral charging for everything. And that is amazing. Well,
Where's
what
that
else have
from?
I got? Probably that
I love
place
that.
where you click and it
Well,
arrives
can
the
I
next
tell you
day.
something about wires? Because I like that because I always end up with the wrong wires. So I've got like so many
Wow.
different bits. I've got an iPad, I've got a Mac, I've got all these different things that I need to have different little bits of cabling and wires and whatever. And the best thing that I found, or someone told me to do, was to take a picture of a picture of the cables all laid out. So the ones you take, and then you
Oh.
just laminate that in a map. And so every time you go away, you just make sure you've got one to match on each of the things on the map.
So I have duplicate charges. So
Yeah. I
I've
like
never
the
had
idea of doing that. Yeah.
duplicate. And then this is my toothbrush. Just falls away. This is my deodorant. It's good. I paid for it. It's for those who can't see, it is a mini what is it? Mini deodorant stick. And it's fine.
Nice.
It's better than you think. Because I want everything to be little.
I know, it
I'm
looks
nearly
good.
I'm nearly there. Look, what's that? Moisturizer, but in a little squishy bag. What have
Nice.
I got there? Oh, toothpaste tablets.
Nice. Hints.
Toothpaste
Oh,
tablets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have
toothpaste tablets.
tablets,
Like it.
toothpaste tablets.
Nice.
So everything is very small as small can be,
Mm.
so that it doesn't take up very much room at all. And it works well, but I do have duplicates. I also have you seen these? Zippy uppy bags to put your clothes in that have another zip. So once you put your clothes in them, it gets smaller because you zip it up again. So it compacts your clothes.
Oh.
So, so they
Mm.
are packing. They're called packing cubes. Um,
Packing
yeah,
cubes. Okay, well,
packing cubes.
nice.
Everything is small as
Little.
small can be.
Nice. I like that. No, I think that's and I think it's about that having that little bit of thought beforehand, isn't it? And that organization. But you've made me think because what I do is when I come home, I mean, I don't unpack my bag often when I come home because I'm rushing into something else. It's about making time. It's
Yes,
about actually making the time after different things and prioritizing that time. I
yes,
think that's really important. Well, I think we've
yeah.
we've we've shared a fair bit. Oh, look, go on.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this remains intact. My going away, that I don't take much out. So then I don't have to
Right.
think about it.
Yeah, that's it. You see, having the go-to things that you just pick up and take away without having to think about it. I think that does a lot. Actually, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
I
Okay,
like
right.
that.
Have we got
Right.
a book? What do you
Have we got a
reckon?
book?
Fancy a book for the little travelling episode?
Oh, I've got a lovely, lovely book to recommend to you.
Go
It's
on.
called Joyful.
Oh,
And it is a book by Ingrid Fettel Lee. And it has got a picture of I think it's an orange coloured iced lolly with, like, as if someone's
uh-huh.
eaten a part of it. And it's about finding the joy in life. It's about when we wear colours. She talks about why we wear colours, about why we have things
Uh-huh.
around us. She really got me into the idea of the round table being the table in my office at work that brings people together because
Yeah.
it symbolizes an infinity because there's no beginning and no end. And I loved the book. And then when I was out walking the dog, and when I do walk the dog, I go, oh, I'm looking at that because of this, because of that. So it did bring me joy. Did the book called Joyful? I can highly recommend it if you
Good.
want to unpick why
Like
you
it.
do things.
Yeah. And get that mood shifted again. I think that's
Yeah,
really good. That's really good. Well,
yeah.
my book is a Dr. Seuss book. It's Oh, the Places You'll Go. Have you seen that?
No.
Um it was a Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. It was somebody bought it for me when I left Australia. When I left Australia to come, I went traveling, was in Australia for a while. It was my friend in Australia. And then sorry, there you go. Right. And then they bought it for me as a kind of like all of the things that you'll see in life, the places you'll go, the journeys you'll go on. It's a wonderful Dr. Seuss book. It's a lovely book about, the mountains you'll climb, the paths you'll walk, all of that. Really, really, yeah, lovely. Lovely, lovely book. So that's my book.
Oh, well, I am going to actually change what I was going to do because I feel I really need to follow on with this traveling theme and such like. And mine isn't a book. Mine is a poem, and it is called. In fact, I'm just going to get my book out. My book, what
Oh,
I wrote, because
oh, your book that you wrote.
my book, what I wrote, because the very end of my book refers to this poem. Um, and I'm going to read from my book because I read the end of my book the other day and I thought, oh, I quite like that. We are the result of the path we've chosen to follow. It makes us what we are. We now need to consider the road we are going to take next. I always refer back to Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. Oh, it sends shivers down me, Sarah, which I studied at
Oh,
A level and still resonates with me. We need to consider travelling on the less trodden path in order to make the most difference to the children in our care.
yeah. Oh, very powerful.
Mm.
Oh, but
Yeah,
it's
you just
true because
inspired me.
yeah, everything comes back to that. Everything comes back to us. And it's about us. And
Mm,
it's about shifting our mood, shifting how
mm,
we feel, because once we shift how we feel, then it will change how we feel about everyone else around us. It will change how we perceive what we see in front of us.
yeah.
And actually we're the ones that have got the solutions to things as well. What about your song, Ginny? Have you got a
Oh,
song? I'm just.
My song is
I was going to do.
by my song is by Reel to Reel. I like to move it, because
Oh,
children
nice.
need to
Yeah.
move. Children need to move more than ever. Children are. I like to move it. There.
Is that
Children are.
Madagascar? Penguins.
Uh,
Madagascar penguins, I think.
I think it probably is. But children
Mm.
are, by the nature of the way we live, more sedentary than ever
Mm,
because of devices and such
absolutely.
like. And I think within school, we need to
Yeah.
find ways to facilitate children moving more. When I went to Finland to see the education system, it'd be 7 years ago now, they had more breaks. I think they had a break every
Mm.
45 minutes. That's how I work. So for
Yeah.
me to expect children to sit for an hour and a half, I can't do it, Sarah. I
No.
can't do it. So, I think we need to consciously put this into our learning, our classrooms, our
Yeah.
environment, our schools.
Yeah. And now we're kind of doing it a little bit like, oh, those children who are struggling or those children with differences, we're going to give them breaks. We're going to give them movement breaks. Actually, let's get movement breaks as part of the universal provision. Let's look at our
Yes,
timetable and shake it up a
yes,
bit and look
yeah,
at the way that we're actually having these long periods of or blocks of time where we're just sat in these rooms, which we don't, that's not even how we work anymore in our own home
no,
environment. We
no,
don't
no,
do that.
no,
Doesn't
no,
happen.
no,
Absolutely. I
no.
think very true. Well, mine's similar to that. Mine's the
Oh,
proclaimers. I would walk 500 miles, but I think that's not the title. But yeah, basically around the fact that we need to be moving, we need to,
yeah,
and it's also about journeys and it's about the persistence and the kind of like the way that we don't give up on things and we can see where we want to be. But generally, yeah, move. Let's
move.
move and
Let's
move in
move.
our minds, move physically,
Yes,
but
yeah.
shift how we think about things.
Oh, I love that as well. Shift how we think,
Yeah.
shift our bodies, shift our thinking. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, as always, lots learned. I've learned a
Yeah.
lot about train journeys and about how to get cheaper train tickets. What have you learned, Sarah? What's your takeaway?
Oh, about packing. I'm having duplicates. I'm having duplicates of everything and I'm not touching it when I come home and I'm not
Oh,
letting anyone else touch it. That's the problem. You see,
there
my
we
son
go.
goes, oh, have you got a little deodorant? Can I have a spray? Oh, I want to try that. Oh, is that a charger with leads in it? Oh, I might want that. Or Andy will go, oh, I can't find a charger. Oh, I'll have that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I obviously
Hide
then I'm
it.
going to need a box that
Yeah.
I lock.
Yeah, hide them away. Hide them away, because
I do.
then we know
Yeah.
we know where they are. So right, Sarah, it's been absolutely fabulous as
Right.
always. I hope you have a good day tomorrow, but really, I hope you have a good breakfast.
Thank you. I do.
Yes, yes. All right.
It's being brought to my room.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, you've reached a higher echelon.
We didn't touch on the differences in hotels and how I always go for chains. And actually, for some reason, I went against the chain thing. I don't know why. And I've got one that I'm not sure about. But anyway, it's okay. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. But anyway, there we go. End of the podcast.
Yeah, another time, another podcast. As we say, Sarah, always a pleasure.
Never a chore. See you later.
Bye for now.
Bye, Ginny.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this time on Catching Up with Sarah and Ginny.
Always a pleasure and never a chore.